So I'm happy to be joined here today with MLA Garth Rowswell for a year-end interview. Garth, thanks for joining me today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate the invite.
So before we kind of get going, why don't you just tell me a little bit how the year went for you?
Well, it's been an extremely busy year, spring, summer, and fall. I'm on about 10 or 11 committees. I kind of lose track, and some special ones that I was involved in the committee that hired the new Chief Electoral Officer. And we just this week finished up our reviews of the Conflict of Interest Act and the Personal Information Protection Act. So it's been, and a whole bunch of other ones. I also did one recently with health foundations and how they fit into our new system. And so we traveled the province and talked to health foundations all across the province, including Wainwright and Lloydminster, which have two very active foundations. So it's been a busy, busy summer, that's for sure.
So just tell me a little bit, some of the highlights of the year, would you say for you?
Ooh, for me, one that I've been working on a long time is getting nurse practitioners the ability to have their own clinics. It's something in my first term, wasn't long after I got elected, I got knowledgeable about what they were doing, what they'd like to do. So I started advocating for them. So finally, it was this fall that we got nurse practitioners able to have their own clinics. And now in Vermilion, we have one that has their own clinic, one that works out of the hospital, another one that works in the primary care network, and then another one that is doing some training to be able to open up her own clinic as well. So I think in the long run, that's going to really pay benefits relative to primary care.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So you were in the United States in November.
Yep.
So just tell me a little bit about what you were doing there and what do you think you kind of accomplished there?
Well, it was part of a course I went on. It's called LEHI. It's the Legislative Energy Horizon Institute. So in the summertime in July, I went down to Richland, Washington State, and they taught us all about all the different sources of energy and ways to produce electricity and utilize it and all that stuff. And then we went to Washington, that was the second part, and that was all about policy. So we got to know how things work down there. And the federal government's way more involved in their electrical system than they are up here. And so they depend on them for funding, and there's a lot more interaction that way. And I discovered that what we're doing here in Alberta is quite unique. And so what I've told them, I think could be good for them, for maybe our Minister of Affordability and Utilities to go down and make a presentation so they can see how we do it in Alberta.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that was probably a really great trip and you probably enjoyed it a lot, eh?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, the only other Canadian was from Quebec. Wow. And the rest were all from, I think there was 38 different representatives from 26 different states.
Oh my God.
So it was, just mingling with those guys, seeing how they do things compared to us, and then making connections and networking so that, if, with the threat here of these tariffs that are coming on, we're planning trips in January. I'm going to at least a couple, if not 4 different state capitals in the States, and we'll be going and making the case for them, to make the case to the federal government and the new president that we should not go down this tariff path.
Sure, it'll be another great trip. So obviously every year there's going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be smooth flowing like every year, but just tell me a little bit, did you face any obstacles or challenges over the years, or over this year, I should say?
This past year, obstacles. I don't know, I don't even think about them as obstacles anymore. There's issues that you have to deal with when you're trying to accomplish something. And then you don't accomplish it on the first try, maybe, but then you do accomplish it down the road. So one that I've been working on, I know locally here in Lloydminster, they're trying to get some money for the new Synovus hub, and we've been working at it. And the mayor and council have been doing a great job of advocating to the provincial government, and I've been doing my part in there. We all play our roles, and we should find out in February if we're going to be successful or not. But it's a big project, and we've been working hard at it.
All right, so we'll kind of move towards 2025. So do you have any, like you were kind of mentioning projects there, do you have any big projects coming up for the new year?
Well, oh boy, just the ongoing stuff. I'm a deputy chair of the Public Accounts Committee, and it's probably a committee no one ever hears about, but we hold all the different ministries they have to come and report how they've done relative to what their goals were, what they said they were going to do, and did they do it, and were they on budget. And it's kind of a partisan one where it goes back and forth. And I was down in Quebec. I went to a Canadian conference on how to run effective public account committees. And so I brought that back and talked to the chair, because the chair is always the opposition member. And we're working towards making it a nonpartisan, really holding departments and ministries to account, and not have it as a showcase where you try to beat up on each other. So that's kind of where we were. We're trying to change that, and I think we got the right chair in there. We're getting along really well, and if we can do that, I think we can do some really good work and work really closely with the Auditor General. So that's a goal. If I have when I'm done this job, if I can look back and say we have a properly functioning Public Accounts Committee, that'll be a mark on the wall for me. No one else will recognize it, but it'll be something I'll be happy about.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. And final question I have
Yep.
for you, what are some goals and expectations you have for yourself for 2025?
Well, I want to help ministers. My two big areas are health and energy.
Sure.
And health, I've been working on doing stuff for them. And the other one is energy. I've decided to take on the case for coal. This summer I traveled down to Crow's Nest Pass. I went to Grassy Mountain and went up and toured the mine there, talked to the local people. And I decided I'm gonna try to help out the coal industry. And there's lots of neat technology that they're using now that should mitigate any of the problems that come from coal. And it could just be a great win for Alberta if we could properly exploit our coal resources and do it in an environmentally friendly way. So that's an exciting one for me that I want to get involved in.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for joining me today, and I wish you nothing but the best for 2025.
Well, thank you very much.